Good afternoon, YouTube. It's SSG Coop, the god of the Xenoverse. Glad y'all could join us on the channel on this lovely Sunday afternoon, wherever you may be. So, today's video, we are going to be doing a slight review of WWE Survivor Series Wargames 2022. I personally thought this was a really solid show. This kind of reminded me of the gold and black NXT variations of War Games during that time and era, the way the show was booked, and how the match and how the match can the match length, and there's only 5 matches on here, so it wasn't exactly a long show, and it actually wasn't bad. I'm pretty sure everyone sees what happened last night in the main event, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. If you click onto the channel, you can actually see our ratings for what we gave each individual match and how many stars we gave that. But right now, you're actually going to hear it from our voice on a slight review. We ain't going to go, spot for spot and move for move. We ain't finna do all that. But we are finna, get into what we saw on television. We didn't do predictions for this show, but we had predictions for this show. We'll be going into those as we go through each match as well. So we gonna jump right off in this Survivor Series War Games 2022, live from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. A lot of people thought Sasha Banks was actually gonna be around for this, which it kind of fits the mold of what she is. She's a history maker, and I'm pretty sure she would have loved to have been part of the first ever main roster women's War Games match. But instead, we got Becky Lynch, and there was a lot of swerves that I thought was actually going to happen in this match that didn't happen. The outcome, I wasn't even expecting that. So one of the swerves is I thought Alexa Bliss was going to abandon her team. I'm thinking maybe Bray Wyatt has some type of supernatural effect that lures her away out of the match, because Alexa Bliss ain't built for War Games. She's not built for any type of those scenario gimmick matches like that. She ain't good in a ring by herself, and I'm pretty sure she knows she ain't gonna be good in no War Games, Hell in a Cells. It doesn't fit her mold. But overall, I thought this match wasn't bad. It was better than the last women's War Games match we seen on NXT. This wasn't bad. It was sloppy in a few spots, and there's only really 3 spots I actually gave a crap about. But we're gonna go into the whole, synopsis of this. So Becky Lynch was revealed to be the last member of Team Bianca, which I was okay with, just because it plays into her being off television. Damage Control wrote her off television, and she came back Friday. So she was announced as the 5th member of the team, and she stood side by side with the woman that beat her for the title at SummerSlam. Now, how this whole match opened up, I had a slight problem with, and that was, okay, all the women make their entrances, you know what I'm saying? Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion, captain of the team, goes into the cage first. My problem with this was, she's skipping to the ring, to this cage. You are skipping and clapping and swinging your braid about to enter something called War Games. In that scenario, I would have put her to be a little bit more attentive. Don't go out there skimming, go in there like, this is a serious thing. You've been in here before. So I think that kind of rubs me the wrong way, seeing her do that. And I think Dakota Kai started off next for Team Damage Control. Now, the whole thing is, both of these teams are very formidable when you look at the overall players of it. You have Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch on one side. Then you had Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. Very formidable teams. So this match went about 40 minutes. Like I said, I'm not going to go through spot for spot. There was a spot where I kind of saw this coming, when I kind of knew when Nikki Cross got released from her. We're going to start from after Dakota and Bianca were in the ring. While they're in the ring, they put a shot of the shark cages Nikki Cross is smiling, bouncing around like a freaking lunatic. Rhea Ripley is doing pull-ups in hers, and it was just a very funny visual. So, when Nikki Cross comes out, she has the most giddy I'm finna go to the carnival smile on her face. She starts pulling all kind of stuff out the ring. That's one thing I did like, the physicality in it. There were ladders, tables, kendo sticks. It was a good list of stuff in this. I think it was at one point where Nikki Cross climbed up top of the cage and gave a crossbody to all the women below. I think the only one that was out of place was Io Sky. If you go back and look, she was way out of place on that. So I gave that, I didn't know if they give that half a point or a full point when I was rating this match. But either way, it was something that we all knew Nikki Cross was going to do that. We all, another spot, Io Sky decides to moonsault off of the cage. I believe they were in the second ring. And we all knew she was going to do that as well.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God, when she get out. So, the ending of this is what really caught me.
What are you talking?
Oh my God. Bae! So toward the end of this, the ending of the match, I forgot who it was, but I know one of the members from Damage Control was set on one of the tables in the corner of the ring toward the second ring on the top right corner. Becky Lynch climbs up the cage and gives a sitting leg drop through this person and through the table for the 1, 2, 3. I was not expecting the baby faces to win. One, because I'm looking like, for the majority of this whole thing, Damage Control has been booked like losers. So I'm thinking maybe Damage Control gets this win in War Games and it thus continues a small feud with Bianca and Bayley for the title. But that didn't happen. So now the questions I have are, where do you go from here? Do you, well, especially with Damage Control, like I said, Io Sky and Dakota Kai are the tag team champions, and they're booked like losers. Bayley's fantastic, but she's lost at least about 3 times. Now, someone I actually, even though they lost this match, I can see possibly if they built this up right, and because I seen an interaction with them on Raw maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago, Rhea Ripley is passing through like the little hallway and she sees Bianca Belair and she stops and looks at her and looks at her title. I would not complain if Rhea Ripley wins this year's Royal Rumble, goes on to WrestleMania, and beats Bianca Belair for the title. I would not be upset at that at all. Now, don't get me wrong. They have done a fantastic job with Bianca Belair. They have made her into a star. They have made her right there with the upper echelons of those women in that locker room. With your 4 horsewomen, with your Asuka, she's right there with them as a top star player. Rhea Ripley now can get that chance. I think she's being booked great, especially with Damage Control and Dominic's heel turn. Overall, for 40 minutes, yes, this was a good match. Was it the best women's War Games match? No. I still think the first women's War Games match was the best one they've produced. But this was okay. I'm a little confused by the result because what happens now, but we have to probably wait on television to see what happens then. But overall, I give that match a thumbs up. Next, we had AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. AJ Styles and Finn Balor in a group and have been, Judgment Day has been a pain and a thorn in the side of everybody. Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. Recently, Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley came into Rey Mysterio's house and beat him up on Thanksgiving dinner. I didn't see the clip of it, but I did see a screenshot of it. Rey on the ground while Rhea and Dominic are just laughing, smiling. It was ridiculous. AJ Styles has been at wits with Judgment Day for about a couple of months now. Finn Balor tried to recruit him to the group. Styles said no. These two have history. These are two of the first leaders of the Bullet Club. Now this match wasn't bad at all, well, by any means. I don't think it was better than the match they had at TLC a couple of years ago. I forgot what exactly year it was, but I remember Styles originally Bray Wyatt was supposed to wrestle the Demon Finn Balor, but instead you had Styles wrestling play. I forgot what happened with Wyatt. I think he got sick or something. Anyway, he couldn't be at the show, and those two had a really good match. And this was no different to it. It wasn't as good as that match, but it was still pretty good. So the whole thing was, I knew this right when I saw this match was gonna happen. The fact that Styles came out with the club, with Gallows and Anderson, Balor came out with Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and I already knew I was like, it's not gonna be before 5 minutes within this match that Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio are gonna intertwine with the club, and eventually they're gonna brawl their way out of the match. So that way there's no outside interference, which I grow to appreciate, because Styles and Balor can have a nice one-on-one, which they did, and that's how it should be. Nobody should be winning from interference or nothing of that caliber. So in the end, AJ Styles gets the win. He hits Balor with a phenomenal forearm from the furthest ring rope of the first ring, jumps over the little like steel barricade that separates the rings in the middle, clobbers Balor with the phenomenal forearm for the 1-2-3, and Balor gets the win. Match went about 18 minutes. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't better than that first pay-per-view match they had those couple of years ago when Styles wrestled the Demon and lost, and they still showed they Bullet Club respect and too sweet at each other. It was a real good man. It was a real good sportsmanship like match, as opposed to this being more of a rivalry type match. What does AJ Styles go from after this? I said for a couple of while, if you're looking still for people to feud with Roman, AJ Styles is definitely that guy. You can put him in a scenario with the Bloodline, and it can work, because I believe Styles and Roman had some solid matches back in 2016 during that time. Next, we moving on. This one, right now, we're gonna move on to what I thought was the worst match of the show. Ronda Rousey defends the SmackDown Women's Championship against Shotzi Blackheart. All right, I think everybody knows I had Ronda Rousey pinned to win this match. It doesn't make sense. Shotzi's there to get her butt whooped, to get destroyed, and that's exactly what happened. This match was terrible. This match was sloppy. It wasn't exciting at all. It's just, I really can't say. Ronda Rousey is about as boring as a box of white rice that's sitting in front of a white chalkboard. Shotzi Blackheart has not gravitated for me since she's been on the main roster. I feel like her in-ring work has gotten sloppy. They tried turning her heel. It didn't work. It really seems like no one cares about her being a baby face. And we're going to jump right into the ending. Ronda Rousey hoists Shotzi up for the Piper's Pit, hits her with it, easily transitions that into the armbar for the tap out. Match went about 7 minutes. Who cares? Where do they go with the SmackDown Women's Championship? Who cares? As long as it's not Charlotte, I would ultimately like to see Becky and Ronda finally get their one-on-one, but I don't know if they're going to happen, considering that Becky Lynch is on Raw and Ronda Rousey is on SmackDown. Becky Lynch does not need to win another Royal Rumble, so I'm not even putting that in there. That's no. Next, we have Seth Rollins defending the United States Championship against Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley in a triple threat match. This match was fun. This match was real fun. It was a lot of decent spots in this, and I wasn't really expecting the outcome. I actually had Seth Rollins to retain and pin Bobby Lashley, but instead they took a whole entire swerve. I believe the ending of this match. Now, first of all, I want to talk about Austin Theory. The Austin Theory that we've been getting for the past 2 weeks leading up to this match is the Austin Theory we were supposed to get through Triple H's eyes, not the one that's taking selfies and the Money in the Bank. So I kind of appreciate that Triple H did a reset on Austin Theory. Let's get that money in the bank thing off of him. He had a very valid reason on why he couldn't cash in. He chose to cash in the money in the bank on the U.S. title. He said he couldn't get to Roman, which is true. So he tried to cash in on Roman. You got a whole Brock Lesnar there. Tried to get on, try to do it again. Tyson Fury's there. Then he had to think about it. How am I going to even get to Roman when he's surrounded by 4 other men? He can't get to that dude. So I kind of feel where he's coming from. Realistically, he was not ever going to get that world championship through a cash in. And he knows he wouldn't, even if he formally challenged Roman by cashing in, he know he wasn't going to beat him. So, Austin Theory has been repackaged. He's back to being a conceited prick. Grew a beard. His intensity is there. His entitlement on like it's my time is there. And I actually want to see what they're gonna do with him with you as United States champion. The ending of this match, I believe Bobby Lashley hit Rollins with a spear, and I think Theory either threw Lashley out or knocked him out or something, and he covered Rollins. Rollins took the fall and lost the title, and Austin Theory is your new United States champion. The match went about 15 minutes. It was a fun match, fun little triple threat match. And the reason I actually thought Lashley was going to take the pinfall was because just this past, just about a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, at AEW Full Gear, there was a triple threat match for the TNT Championship with Samoa Joe, Wardlow, and Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse Hobbs took the fall. So I'm like, they're gonna make the brother take the fall in this one too. But I guess I was wrong. But I did have Rollins pinned down to retain this. I'm like, he just got it. How is he gonna lose it? So what do you do with Rollins now? Because Rollins is as over as ever now, and I don't even know what he is. I don't know if he's a heel. I don't know if he's a babyface. I just know the people in the audience sing his music like an occult following. Like I always appreciate. You always know when someone's over the moment they are vocalizing or singing your theme music. So I think Seth Rollins is probably the best I've seen Seth Rollins outside of when he had the Intercontinental Championship a couple of years ago. But now we get into the main event. The Bloodline, undisputed World Heavyweight Universal Champion Roman Reigns, the Honorary Uce Sami Zayn, the Street Champion Solo Sikoa, and the undisputed Tag Team Champions Jimmy and Jey Uso versus the Brawling Brutes Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens. This was the main reason I was excited to see this show. Because on Friday, we don't know, Sami Zayn was actually in the back talking to KO. He tried to play it off to Jey Uso, like, I was late, why you getting here so late, and all this other stuff. And Jay has been hounding Sammy down for the minute, like he ain't one of us, he gonna betray us, he gonna do this, trying to put all this stuff in Roman's ear. And Sammy has been nothing but loyal and has done everything that he's been asked of as far as the tribal chief goes. And it was a backstage segment before this match started where Sammy spoke to Roman and said, I am in the bloodline, and I'm not going to betray you. And I didn't really know what was going to happen. I'm thinking maybe a swerve happens and Sammy ends up taking a fall. I had Sammy taking a fall and the bloodline losing, and I was like, okay, maybe that could open up a program with Sheamus and Roman Reigns for the Universal title going into the Royal Rumble. Who you have set up for Roman Reigns to fight at the Royal Rumble, we do not know, but that was a good answer. Sheamus is as legit as anybody in that ring. He puts bangers on. You even say banger after banger, and I know he can put on a solid match with Roman Reigns. So we're gonna skip right to the ending. This is where the important part of the match came in. So Roman and KO are going at it, and KO whiplashes Reigns into the ropes and gives him pop-up powerbomb and hits him with a stunner. I love this part of the match. I absolutely think this was, whoever decided to book this, the ending of this, it was brilliant. So the ref is counting 1, 2. His hand is up for the third one. Sami Zayn, instead of breaking up the pinfall, grabs the ref and grabs his hand and stops him and prevents him from hitting the 3 count. The visual of it was great. Kevin Owens is looking like, what is you doing? and everything. He's like, you think this is your family? This is your family? And Sammy's like, yeah, this is my family. So while they're sitting there arguing, bickering back and forth, Reigns is recovering. Jey Uso tries to attempt to hit KO with a super kick. Owens grabs his leg. While Owens has his leg up, is holding his leg, Sami Zayn low blows Kevin Owens. Puts him in the corner, delivers a haluva kick. KO is groggy on him. Sami Zayn is holding him up. He lays him down. He opens his hand to Jey Uso, who delivers the Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. The Bloodline wins War Games. Now, a lot of people might have said this match was boring, or it went on too long, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. For the almost 40 minutes this went through, just how those last minutes and it was the ending, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. And this is the best part of the match. The best part of the show. Roman opens his arms and he embraces Sammy. And I can just hear him right now. We did it, Uso. We did it. And everyone, and Solo and Jimmy Uso are just looking and all like, yeah, dang, he really did it. He really is one of us. Like, they felt it now. Jey Uso, after all these months of trying to say, hey, Sammy ain't this, Sammy ain't that, he embraced Sami Zayn himself, hoisted him in the air, and told him, like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it was a great visual. Sami Zayn looks out to the crowd. He rips his shirt. All of them stand collectively, holding it, doing they poses, holding their ones up. It was excellent. So now we have the Bloodline winning War Games. Sami Zayn is now looked as, Sami Zayn is right now the biggest babyface in professional wrestling. This Bloodline story is the best story in professional wrestling right now, because you don't know when it's going to end, and you know when it does, when the Bloodline finally, I'm trying to think, if Sami didn't mess up at War Games, he ended up winning War Games for the Tribal Chief, what's going to happen in Royal Rumble season? What if Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble and they use that as a way to alienate him from the Bloodline? Who knows? But we just know when that sad moment comes, when they, after everything Sami has done with them and for them, the fact that they are going to turn against him and give him the beating of his life and make him the ultimate MVP, babyface, whatever you want to call it, hero, and it was just going to lead to him going back to KO to defeat the Usos and become the undisputed tag team champions. All we can do is sit down, buckle up for the ride, and enjoy what's finna happen. Sami Zayn has been the most enjoyable thing about weekly television in wrestling. And this match was no exception. Sami Zayn proved his absolute loyalty to the Tribal Chief, and it's just a very big visual sign. I know some of y'all, it might be sick of Roman Reigns, or sick of the Bloodline. What else do you want? This is a perfect long-term booked storyline that eventually is going to get Roman and the Bloodline more hated, and when they get taken down, you're going to have that relief of size. So while you're complaining now, just look at the ultimate end results. Who's going to take the title off of Roman? We still don't have an idea, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania begins now. Because I don't think I don't know what they're going to do for December. They shouldn't have a pay-per-view for December. Leave that blank and have that book, and literally book all the way to the Royal Rumble. Build toward the Royal Rumble. And this is what's going to make it fantastic. Overall, I give this a nice maybe 7 3/4, 8 out of 10. The show was pretty good. 5 matches. It was right to the point. Probably one of the best WWE pay-per-views we've seen this year. Brilliant ending. I liked this show, and that's my thoughts on Survivor Series War Games. The first ever War Games, main roster War Games it's in the books, y'all. And if you didn't watch it, go ahead and do yourself a favor and check it out. Even though I'm pretty sure you've seen all over the dirt sheets, all over Google, ESPN News, everything. You can see what happened, and you just see the bloodline collectively standing there victorious in the War Games cage. But anyway, y'all, we actually had a lot of fun doing this review. It's been a minute since we did a review of a show directly after it happened. We want to get in the habit of doing things like this more. We haven't done a review like this back to back since the pandemic WrestleMania a couple of years ago. So when we come back the night after this, we gave y'all this Survivor Series review. We hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all can leave in the comments section what you thought about the show. If you liked it, you didn't like it, what match was your match of the night, was your moment of the night. You can put all that down in the comment section below. I'm finna get ready and end this video off. We got Monday. We're gonna see what happens on Monday Night Raw. How are they gonna? What's the fallout from Survivor Series War Games? It's gonna go nothing but up from here. Triple H, you're doing. I already see you making statements right now. You're doing a fantastic job with booking this. I can't wait to see what you do booking going into WrestleMania season. But anyway, y'all, I'm SSG Coop. Thank y'all for watching. For any other content on the channel that you want to watch, we got some Neo up, we got some King of Fighters up. We got a lot more stuff coming up. We just haven't been really need to find the time to actually do this stuff, and we're gonna really try to get this out to y'all. But anyway, y'all, that's War Games 2022. Everybody have a good Sunday. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Peace.